This is lesson 2 of module 2, and in this lesson we're going to be talking about the reasons why most YouTube scripts tend to fail. Now let's talk honestly, guys. Most YouTube scripts don't fail because the topic is bad. They actually fail because the writer misunderstands the platform, and that misunderstanding happens before the first sentence is even written. The first mistake that most creators make is this: that they try to explain instead of writing to engage. Now, there is a big difference in this, guys, that you need to understand. Explaining is logical, but on the other hand, engaging is psychological, and YouTube is psychological. Now, when someone clicks on a video, what are they looking for? They're not looking for a lecture. They're looking for movement. But what happens is that many of the scripts tend to feel static. They feel the information is just being delivered and there's no journey that's unfolding. And when a video feels static, people leave. And the second reason why scripts tend to fail is over preparation. Now, this might actually sound really strange to you, but it's the truth. And many writers they do too much research. And when they try to include everything, they feel guilty leaving some things out. It happens to a lot of us, and it used to happen to me as well. And what I used to do was that I used to add more and more and more. But here's the truth, guys. A YouTube script is not like a research paper, which a lot of people tend to think. It's a controlled experience, and you need to decide what to reveal, when to reveal it, and how to reveal it. And when you try to say everything, the video loses shape. Now, obviously, when that happens is that it actually becomes predictable. And that's our third reason for failures of the scripts. Now, if a viewer can actually guess what you're about to say next, what happens? The tension disappears. So if I give you an example in order for you to understand that if your video title says 5 morning habits that improve focus, what happens? Your script literally just lists them clearly from 1 to 5 with no variations, with no tension, with no narrative. What happens? It becomes predictable. And predictability reduces engagement. And engagement is one of the most important metrics on YouTube. Now, strong scripts tend to create small surprises, which keeps the viewer engaged and hooked in the video. Now, the other reason, and the fourth reason for that matter, when scripts actually tend to fail is because they have emotional flatness. Now, most scripts tend to be informational, but emotionally very neutral. There's no intensity, there's no urgency, there's no contrast. Everything actually tends to feel on the same level. But attention actually, what it does, it responds to variation, psychologically speaking. Now, if your script feels like one long flat tone, viewers are mentally going to disconnect from it. And this is one of the major reasons why content doesn't actually get pushed by the algorithm on YouTube. Now, when this happens, it creates something which I call invisible friction, which is our fifth reason. Now, when a sentence is slightly too long, slightly too complex, and slightly too formal, it loses its essence. Now, individually, they don't seem to be bad, but collectively, they create a mental effort. And when you're watching something that requires effort, what happens? The audience leaves. Now, a strong script removes this friction. It doesn't make the viewer work to understand it. It feels easy to flow, clear from the start to the finish, and it flows naturally that the viewer doesn't even notice the transitions. They just keep on watching. Now, when you do all of that, it brings us to the last reason why most scripts tend to fail: because of lack of direction. Now, many creators tend to start writing without knowing where the video is going to go. So the script starts to wander. It goes in circles instead of moving forward. Now, when that happens what is the video going to do? It's going to repeat the same idea over and over and over again. And it stretches simple points into long, unnecessary explanations until the viewer slowly loses interest. Now, but a strong script always knows its destination. Every single section exists for a reason. Every paragraph tends to move closer to something. And remember, guys, when a script tends to lack direction, viewers can feel it. They don't consciously actually think this video doesn't have structure, it doesn't have clarity. But what do they think? And this is one of the major reasons why a lot of videos don't work. They think, I'm bored. And what are they going to do when they're bored? We do it as well. If a video is not interesting, we just click away. But here's the thing that I want you to understand as you're taking this course, that most failing scripts don't look obviously bad. They actually look quite decent. And I got a lot of videos and a lot of people asking me and giving me their scripts, and I go over them. They look decent. They look informative, and even are actually, some are really quite well written as well in most cases, but they lack structure. They lack tension and they lack control. And that's the difference between an average and a high performing content. And as we move forward in this course, you'll start to recognize these weaknesses instantly. You'll see slow openings, you'll see predictable patterns, you'll see the flat emotional tones and the unnecessary complexities. And once you can diagnose these failures, you can prevent it.